we step on the mic, man, you notice the difference. Heavenly blessed with the melanin, baby, you know that we winning. No time for the long talk, got 120 on the clock. Wednesday 8 through 10, all the bad vibes better stop. Cause you gotta come with that energy. Casual convos, baby, come down and just sit with me. Lil' Coco be spitting that remedy. Casual convos, baby, come down and just sit with me. You better take this shit serious. She dropping knowledge on head and it's free for the play. Tap in right now if you curious. We got the Handradio going lit every age. We go from people to family to pilots. Stay with me if you got something to say. Know it's important if we go acknowledge. Speak on the business and get out the way. What you gonna say about my mama? She winning, you rockhead.
Hello, welcome to the Casual Convo Show with me, Coco, and I have tonight my guest, Tierra, where we're going to have conversations about topics that affect the community, personal, and business relationships. We always have the casual convo, so you don't have to have the tough convo. And before I fully introduce Tierra, we got a stick and shut-in member, Bosco. So let's all, keep coming through it. Hope he get better. He was a little under the weather. So, he's probably walking around naked or something. You never know. So he got a little chilly. so, so hopefully he will be back for the next show. So Tierra, do you want me to do the introduction or do you want to do the introduction?
Nope, have at it.
So I'm gonna introduce Hashard, my guest Tierra. So she's gonna fill in today. She's my good last minute spur of the moment person. She never does me wrong. She just come through and come through. So Tierra is multi-talented. So she does the hair, not today. It's like when the second shot into. But when it's done, all props go to her. She makes shirts. She does all kinds of things. So she's also ready to start her little crafty business. So perfect. So we're going to discuss some things of how she can prepare for that. So I think it would be perfect and a good balance. And she's also one of my closest best friends. I'm gonna say that because yeah, she keep me together. Welcome.
Thank you, thank you.
So today we're going to be talking about business and professionalism. Okay. So coming up with this one from when we did like the Q&A and everything like that, there was like a lot of response on will we do another business show and different like financial things. And that also it'll be a good time for people to shout out their businesses, comment their businesses. You can call in, talk about your business. Whatever you want to do is more than welcome today. A couple of people hit me up about their businesses. So let me go to it because I don't want to get it wrong, like at all. Because I had printed it out, but I'm sorry, I forgot it. So I'm gonna say this a couple of times. So the first one is Imperial Data Services. That's Lamont. He's always been like a loyal supporter of the show. Then we also have J. Nathaniel Photographies. He does some great pictures, so y'all can hit him up on Facebook. And then we have a Teeth Effect, parties, events, all your good stuff. I'm actually going to celebrate my birthday with him, so y'all can go to my social media, get the flyer, all of that stuff, and y'all can get some tickets. Just hit him up. Okay, so we also got the Jude Creations. That's Jude. And anybody else, y'all can comment your stuff. I told y'all got to comment your own stuff. I'm not just going. We gonna have to participate. So, where you want to start here?
I don't know.
So, question for you:
Yes.
what made you want to like even consider starting your business?
Um, one, extra income. Two, because I've always been into like crafts. I grew up with my mom doing crafty stuff. Like she would make out clothes and design out clothes and stuff. So it's always been in me. So I just want to get back to that.
I agree. So one of the things I think most people do is also it goes into what your passion is, what you want to do. And like you said, like just like freedom to be creative, be crafty, that's what you love. Most people or like to choose a business of something that they like or
Mm-hmm.
something that really they're passionate about, um, which I think is a great thing. But the one thing I usually like suggest to people, or the main thing I hear about from people, even when having business conversation, is to do your research. Like,
Okay.
especially if you gotta buy products, if you want to, just to see what the market is like, what the industry is like for that particular thing, just to make sure it's going to be lucrative, or what's the longevity in it and how you got to do it. So I think that's one of the things that a lot of people don't do, is they'll say, "Oh, I'm gonna do this business and I'm gonna get into it." Hey, Jude, I'm gonna get into it, but then they don't understand and make like when is the down point and when is the up point. You know, of like when does it? What's your drought season?
Right.
And then when is your influx season? And it's not going to always be up. And a lot of times we don't plan for the drought time, like
Right.
at all. So for you, because I know, but I want you to tell the people, because you be like, oh, I looked up so and so. So how do you navigate your research?
I'm always on Google. Like I could consider myself the Google queen. I will Google anything and everything. Like I could consider myself the Google.
I'm sorry.
Yes. Yeah, so I Google a lot and then I read a lot. Um and then sometimes just talking to people that's already doing it. Or like sometimes on Instagram, you get a lot of people that's like already in a business. So I take some like tutorials, even if I gotta pay for them. I do that just to get the knowledge from somebody that's already in the business and that's been in the business for a while.
So when you think about, I know one of my things everybody always talk about, you always on your phone. I be looking up stuff and I'm always trying to
Yeah.
think of like ways to be different and be creative. So I think the one thing, the most important thing to do is, how can you make yourself different from what everybody else is doing, especially if it's like a lane that sometimes can be oversaturated. Like,
Right.
everybody do like the online boutiques or the online, shop. Granted, everything is online, but some people still want to, go and see certain things.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but then it's kind of like, okay, how can mine stand out, whereas though they're going to come to me and want to spend with me as opposed to spending with somebody else. And I think the important thing is also, when you do your research, is to figure out how can you be competitive. Like,
Right.
I know you'll play around with something odd and make it work, whereas though some people play it safe. So I think it's important to understand, take a risk.
Mm-hmm.
Are you willing to take the risk? How do you structure it? So then you also want to think about how much it's going to cost you to fund it, or if there are any programs where, so if it's anything that you can get like wholesale, depending on what you want to do, or if there's some type of like funding that you can use to support it.
Okay.
So first, you didn't even tell nobody what you was going to do.
What you mean?
What you thinking about doing?
Well, my head is all over the place right now. So I'm it is. So I'm trying to. Well, the one thing I do like is the tie dye shirts, the hand by hand. Like I do it by hand. It's not sublimation. It's not anything. Like I really like tie dye the shirts, but I want to add sublimation to the tie dye shirts. Just to make it a little different. Not just so it's just not a tie dye shirt. You can get whatever you want on the shirt if you like want one. Um, so right now that's what I'm trying to get into and into the sublimation, but I just want to be different with it. So I'm still kind of exploring how can I make it different and not like what everybody else is doing.
But I like mine. So I'm like the guinea pig for most people, especially in my friend group. I think that's the beauty of having people or meeting people, um, that have either a business mindset or are creative, but in different lanes and not the same thing that's your own. Because you can kind of experiment. Like for me, everybody be like, here, try this. Like, even Jude, she'll call me like we both paint. So she'll be like, what this looking like? What you think I should do? So currently, I'm gonna just say this. I don't know if she watching or not, but I'm her inspiration for her art. So all of her pictures look like me. So just so y'all know. So she can cuss me out. But yeah. But I think it's good to have friends that's gonna support you.
Yeah.
Um critique you. There she goes. I'm sorry, but I am my inspiration. I just told her the one what she painting now. If y'all go to her page when she go live, that is me. Lumpa lumpa all day long.
Mm,
But the important piece is to have, friends that can support you. Um, also be open minded and help guide you in the right direction. Um, but I think if it's a business where any business, you should create like a business plan. And I think that's the one thing a lot of us don't do is create a business plan. No
mm,
matter what your business is, how small you think it is, no matter if you like, oh, this is just simple, so I'm just going to make these and then I'm going to sell them. No, your business plan should include like what do you want to name your business? You want it to be different. Can you trademark it? Is there somebody else out there with the same name? What do you want to do? Like what's the most creative way that I can structure this plan? And in your business plan, you should have a projection and a goal. Like, do you want to be online? Do you want to be in stores? Um, your funding, where you're going to get it from? Are you going to have people working for you? Um, just anything, but it should be planned out like what it is. So some people be like, oh, I'm gonna go get this because I got the money right now, and then I'm going to just put my product out there. That's not how that works. You might sell, but it doesn't mean that you're going to continuously sell. So you got to think about how you're going to re-up. Can you save what you spend? Because sometimes you want to see where your business is going as far part of your business model. So when you look at your how you're going to fund it, don't be like, oh, okay, I'm gonna spend this much, but I'm gonna make this. So you still want to be able to re-up on your supplies, keep up with your orders, and then the other important piece is who are you trying to target? Like what lane do you want to go in? Are you going young, old, middle? Are you going upper class, middle? What way you gonna go? So I think that's important and to see does your product match what you're looking for and not what somebody else is doing.
right.
So I think that's the other thing. So when you said create generational wealth, what does that mean for you?
I'm sorry. My little one came in the room.
No, I said when you said you wanted to create generational wealth, what does that look like or what does that mean for you?
Um, what it looked like for me, it's just most of the time generational wealth for people is like leaving something leaving something for like your kids and your family or whatever. Can you please go? Excuse me. Kiki. Bah.
So as y'all can see, that's the little one she's talking about. So that's another thing, time management. When do
Yes,
you
time management. Cause I
when do
don't
you
have
have
it right.
time?
I don't have it down right now. But generational wealth for me right now is like I just want to be able to like whatever my kid within reason. Like I don't want her. I grew up where we did everything. We were never really told like no that we couldn't experience anything. So right now that's what I'm trying to give my daughter. Like I want her to experience whatever she wants to experience. Whatever trip she wants to go to, if she wanna whatever park she wants to go to, whatever sport she wants to play, whatever everything. Like I just want to be able right now I want to be able to comfortably be able to do that. and then leave something for her when she's old enough, even if it's not what she wants to do, but still leave it for her to make that, to have that as a backup.
I agree. Would you show her what you do? You know what? One thing I think I would like to see us do as far
Hmm.
as like our community of people, we don't do something that I see a lot of other cultures do. We don't groom our kids. Even if that's not what they want to do, it could still be something like if you want to pass it down. So it's like if anything happens, they don't know how to pick up the pieces, and then it can still continue to stay fresh. Because when you teach the young ones, you might be get stuck in that stuff. Like, no, I'm gonna do it this way. That young, fresher mind, fresher eyes can keep up with the changes. And I
Hmm.
think it's also important to teach our kids that. But then the other thing, I think I mentioned it the last time we talked about business, was a lot of times, granted, yes, everybody go online, we online shop. The one thing that we don't do is consider like franchising or buying or leasing like buying a building, a property,
Right.
and having like a storefront. And I think that should probably be the the goal for just to have like a place, because not only that, now you are investing in a property that still can be yours, that you can still get into your case. So even though we talk about generational wealth, even with ownership, you can also pass that down to your kids. So I see like a lot of us will go online and it will be like for a couple of months. But I think the dedication piece with a lot of us in businesses, from what I see, is not consistent. So I think the consistent piece, when you do your research, when you're trying to do your name, where you want to do it at, how long. So if your business plan stops and this is all you can do, and you have a cutoff for your business, I would think, is this something that you really want to do? Because you
Right.
should have a cutoff point for something that you're passionate about and what you want to invest in and make money from to give to your family. You should have an ongoing something that you can continuously do ongoing, that you can pass on to somebody else. And then if you want to have employees, because some of us will work ourselves out because we don't want to pay people. And I think that's another part of your budget. Like, will you need help? Can you afford the help?
Hmm.
Or will your business put you in a position where as though it can become lucrative, and then now you can put other people on. So now you creating jobs for your community. I don't think we understand how important starting up a business can really be for not just ourselves, but the community that we live in, our city, our state, anything like that. Because even if it's your homegirl or family member, you just employ somebody.
Right.
So registry, if you need to register your stuff, um, resources. What resources you look for when you looked into your stuff?
Like where I can buy like my stuff wholesale, like who has the better product. It's all in like,
Do you look
I'm in
locally
the
or
I'm in the
outside?
beginning stages, so I'm still like in the stages of where I'm still trying to figure it all out and piece it all together, because I don't like just jumping out there and I don't have all my ducks in a row. So this has been like a long time coming because I'm slow with it, because I make sure everything is in in its place.
Yeah, and I be like, come on, you can start with me. I mean, because I think when you start getting people and you start to create a buzz and like that coming soon type thing, like just like how so before the show, and everybody know for years, I was like, I'm gonna do a podcast. I can do this. I can do this. I can talk. You know what I mean? I can do some things. And then it was like, no. So part of my resources was, I ain't gonna lie, I started reaching out to people who had podcasts that I would follow, whether it was on YouTube, um, different things I would see. And then the people that I was working for, I was also talking to them. And then I worked with like a provider that also had like a YouTube channel and certain things like with millions of followers and all of this stuff. So he kind of broke it down to me, like how it started. And he was like, it's easily to get discouraged, just like with any business. And that's how he had to break it down to me. It's just like a business. And then sometimes people we know don't always realize what you're doing is your business. And
Mhm.
then some, even that, even if it's not people you know, some people, oh, that's just da 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 da. People don't understand the time, the effort, the passion, the just everything that you put your heart and soul into what you want. So the thing is, it's easy to get discouraged if you like, okay, it's not reaching the way that I thought it was going to go. It's not doing that. So it's like you got to kind of adjust to the hiccups as you go along. Sometimes it doesn't always go smoothly. So like before I started, I was like, all right, I'm gonna do it. And he was also just like, yo, was just go ahead and do it because you getting on my nerves. But he was just like, when you gonna do it? I don't see it. I don't see it. And he was like, it took him years to even get numbers. You get what I
Right.
mean? But he was like, he just stayed consistent. And then as it started growing and it really started to catch on and people started to see it, everything else came. And then people went back to what he already had out there. So he said, sometimes all it takes is the right people to see you.
Right.
And then that's why I was like, oh, okay, just think about the reach. And then he was like, so just like, talk to people, network, see what they talking about, see what they getting to know. And I was like, oh, all right. So like even today, I still listen to everything from political music. I listen to any type of podcast you can name. Cause I'm like, I'm gonna see
Yes, you
this one.
do.
Like I do. I do it all day, even while I'm working. Then I mean, I support everybody because it's a lane, even though people think it's saturated, but it's something for everybody. It's just a matter of you being different. But what I did notice was everybody was talking about like the same thing. Whatever that hot topic was for the day,
Mhm.
you could find 50 videos where everybody pretty much saying the same thing, but it might have been a different way, or it was the delivery. So I think the same way in your business, if you have the same product, like okay, let's say like Jude paint, right? So
Mhm.
let's say somebody else like, oh, I can paint that. You're not going to get the same thing. Like with her, she has a certain uniqueness about her thing. I'm not going to tell y'all. Y'all gotta go to her page, Jude Creations, and look at her artwork, and then you can see. So somebody else can try, but it's not going to be that. And I think that's the beauty of especially art or when you being creative and you're not trying to do the same thing. So it's kind of like you ever see boutiques and everybody got the same piece,
Mhm.
but you might have somebody that one person might take the same piece, but they may add something to it.
Yeah, it's gonna be styled different.
Yeah. So now they standing out and they not like yours. And then it's also like some people overcharge. And then it's like you're not going to be competitive because they're trying to get the quick buck. So the thing about being competitive is sometimes, okay, let me see what these prices is. I want to sway these people over here. Then when you get your clientele up, then you can gradually, you know what I'm saying, get your stuff. But I ain't saying go in the real, but at least be fair and be competitive. Hey, Richie. So I think that's one thing. In doing your research, probably look into um how are other people marketing their stuff, and how can you do yours different?
And see that's an issue for me because, as you know, I am not a person that put myself out there.
Me either.
I I do not like to put myself out there, and I try like because of course, like we all know, I do hair, and my wife tell me all the time, when you want to take pictures, why you don't post your pictures? Why you? Because I don't want to put myself out there.
Wow.
I don't know. I don't. I don't know if it's a. It could possibly be a fear of failure or a fear of people not liking what I do. To be honest,
Hmm.
but I'm like I'm good with the people I got.
But I think we always do that. And even like Drew said, that's the hard part. I think the fear is the good part. I don't think nobody should be overly confident because you just never know. And I think it's like My the biggest thing, like we were like, is they gonna like it? Somebody not gonna say something. And then I think we gotta get in our head that you can't please everybody. You get what I'm saying?
Mhm.
And I had to learn in the same way like y'all told me and sat me down, girl, fuck them people. You know what I'm saying? Like if they don't like you, whatever.
We need the
But
Right.
people.
hey Rich,
We need the people.
you need the people.
What's going
What
on?
you what's up?
Had to chime in. Y'all talking about business.
Oh Lord, what you about to say?
Right. Now I was going to talk about, you got to make sure in business that you have a supportive mate or somebody that's in your corner. Not somebody that want to compete against you or try to destroy your business. Like it can happen.
And that envy come from the people closest to you. Trust me. Some people will act like they want to see you win and don't. But I think the main thing is, I mean, I guess support is big, but I think the
Mhm.
main and solid thing is believing in your vision and your creative space that you have what it takes for this to go and that dedication. I think some people just get into it for the quick fix and like I said, not the long haul. But the support thing is great.
Yeah.
But again, like I said, you can't please everybody because that was my biggest thing. Like, I'm gonna get on here, I'm gonna say the wrong thing because I can be opinionated, I can be passionate, and it can come off wrong. But then I was like, man, whatever.
There's no right or wrong. There's no right or wrong because everything is relative.
Right.
Everything is relative.
Right.
Well, you said something earlier that made me think when you talked about Jude, you were saying that somebody can paint, but that don't necessarily mean you can paint like she's painting because she has her own unique style. And
Hmm.
I say that's so true. I say everybody is unique in their own way. You don't have to do like it's a lot of followers and not a lot of leaders in this world. So a lot of
Hmm.
times we look at how somebody else is doing it and think if I do it exactly like them, it's going to be just as successful as them. It's going to be just as profitable as them. But in all actuality, your skill set is unique to yourself. So you have to do it your own way. There's no correct way to be creative and do something. Now, there is certain things you may need to know, whatever category, whatever field you're in. Like, say, if you're a cook, let's use Chef Tommy as an example. Chef Tommy has his own unique way of cooking. It may not be the standard that everybody thinks is how he should cook, but he knows what works best for him, and that's how he's successful in his field. So that's how I think everybody else should be. Like they should not look left and right and say, "Hey, they're doing it like this and they're successful. Let me try to do it that way." Why not start your own trend? Why not create your own lane? That's why I kind of like I gravitate towards people like Kanye West, and I always bring him up because I feel like what he's done is like outside of the box. He's like different from everybody else, and he's like being independent. And I like to see people that are creative and don't care what people actually think about or feel about their creativity when they're doing
Right.
Okay. I get
That's
it.
like even when I do hair and people bring me a picture, I'm like, I didn't do that. So it's not going to look like
Don't
that.
come for me, low key. Don't do that.
It was not low key for you, I promise. But no, but people really do send pictures and be like, I want this exactly like this. Well, I'm going to need you to go to whoever did that.
it. Yeah.
The
Because
shade is that's literally what she say. But the one thing I can say is you won't be like disappointed. And I think most people feel like Jay Nathaniel said of Jada's photography. He said there's a fear of success also might become overwhelming. And I think some of us fear the possibility of greatness. So we start to have a fear of anxiety or what does that look like instead of just taking it day by day and
Mhm.
prepping yourself. And I think sometimes your business plan, your outline nothing is ever going to prepare you for the unexpected. Like you could just like take off overnight. You just never know. Somebody could see your Okay, let's say if it's Jay Nathaniel, somebody see one of his photos and like, oh, I'm going to book him. And let's say it's a major organization that may want to do like some type of like like clothing line, and he get like this $100,000 or $1 million contract, right? Overnight. Nobody technically prepares for that. But I think if you have a projection or a business plan, you can pretty much prepare yourself like, okay, this is what I need to do. And like if you're constantly, you never stop doing research for what you're doing, especially for your business. You always want to stay educated and to know of what's going on. These are the people that I'm trying to reach. You might reach somebody else, but I think you should have a clear projection of who you want to target. Who do you really want your product or whatever your service to gear towards? Like if I want to reach um old people from 60 to whatever, I might want to talk about old people stuff. I
They
don't
well seasoned. They not old.
well seasoned. I mean, you know what I mean. I'm getting there, so I can say that because I call myself old. But I'm just saying, you just don't want to always be prepared for what you can do. But your business plan should have a projection, and you can always go back to your plan and revise it, according to, okay, this is where I'm at. So now we want to project. So if you start with, let's say, a 3-year plan, I don't think that's too bad because usually it's going to take that time for you to pick up, do whatever you got to do. When you get to your 3 year, okay, let me look for the next three. Where do I want to go? Or where did I go wrong here? Even if it's in the middle of your 3 years, if something ain't going right, take a look and really critique yourself. And I think sometimes we don't honestly critique ourselves and understand where we go wrong. Or if somebody give you feedback and it's negative, okay, let me work on that.
Hmm.
So I think that's like the other thing. But the biggest thing, yeah, we are our own worst critics. Drew, that's correct.
Yes.
We are our own worst critics sometimes. Because sometimes you might not like Drew to tell you, I didn't have some stuff that I painted. I was like, this is terrible. And then next thing you know, if I post, somebody be like, oh, how much is that? I'm like, you buying buy. But all right, girl, let me quote you a price real quick. Um, but I think people go wrong in business by they shortchange yourself. You don't take risks. That's one of the biggest mistakes, especially in doing art that I do. I shortchanged myself tremendously in the beginning. It took another artist to reach out to me, and I didn't even know the person was an artist. And she's like, "No, I just see you, da 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 da," because I always like this stuff, and we just was talking. So she was like, so, how do you do your quotes? Sometimes I just, whatever. Cause it was just something that I did. Cause it was relaxing. It was calming. It was like a meditation for me. So when I told her, she was like, what? She was like, so what about your supplies? What about your time? What about your talent?
Hmm.
And a lot of times we don't think cost of goods, cost of supplies, and people don't understand that stuff is not cheap. We ain't buying no box of crayons. You know what I'm saying? Like we gotta buy a protector, we gotta buy paint, the good paint if you want it to the last. We gotta get the canvas, we gotta get the things that you like. If we using extra stuff, if you're using resin, if you're using like any type of anything, and then the time you take like Drew might draw, that's time consuming. So depending on what you are, your time is valuable, your cost that, and then the cost of service. Then if you like shipping and doing all of this type of stuff, we don't think about pricing at all, and we shortchange ourselves that way. And the one thing that was told to me is your price is your price. Either they gonna pay it or they not.
And I say
Yes.
something
I
about that.
devalue myself all the time.
I
Hmm.
think that's absolutely true. I think a lot of times we downplay how much we're worth. Like we if somebody doesn't buy into what we're selling, we'll think that, okay, let me lower the price and that's gonna get more clients. And that's not true. Like you have the skill set, you know what you're doing. Set your price, and like you said, let them come to where you are. If they don't budge, then you'll find a client, because it's all kinds of clients out there. You meet clients every day. You'll have your client that will penny pinch and don't have the money to pay for your service, And it's not to say that they don't respect what you do. They may actually have a financial situation where they can't pay for your service. But there's also clients out there that actually look forward to paying for the quality. They'll pay more for the quality service out there. So it's always different clients. You can't lower your price because you don't get clients. Because sometimes that's what it be. It's done out of desperation.
Okay, let's clarify some things with that. Okay, now let's dive deeper.
Hmm.
So, Jude, Jude made a good point. Pricing your work is the hardest thing to do, especially if you're doing art. Now, let's talk about cost.
Mm,
Hmm.
Now, some people do be overpriced, and I think that's why I said it all depends on your lane, right?
mhm.
Where you're going, what is the pricing like? What and like I said, sometimes you do want to be competitive, but you don't want to shortchange yourself. Now, if you see a white t-shirt,
Right.
right? And it's just a white t-shirt. I put a logo on it. So
Right.
this person selling them for 30, I'm gonna charge 120. All right,
Right.
I believe in my business too. But do that mean that this t-shirt, the same
Right.
t-shirt that this is it's not worth? I'm sorry. No, that's not being competitive. That's being crazy. And then we wonder why other cultures still get our money because they fairly priced. You get what I'm saying? And it's cost efficient and it's economy wise. And they're targeting who they want to target, which is us.
That's
Okay.
right there. The target. Who you targeting? Because if you know who you're targeting, that 120 shirt won't be. It won't like I was just saying. It's somebody out there that'll pay 120 for the same shirt because that's the target market that doesn't mind paying 120 for that shirt. Now, if you're
If
selling that,
not if you're trying to go
for,
to your local neighborhood and you right on the corner at a gas station
yeah,
with
yeah,
the gas station person. And you
that's
run around in the trunk of your car, and you be like, I got this, I got that for 120. Tell the truth. Now, if you know the same shirt, same quality, and this person I can get this shirt for 25. I get you might be, a brother or sister, and you charging 120. As much as I want to support you, I'm not doing it.
yeah, for sure, for sure. You know,
So I think it's you also have to be realistic in your pricing and not try to be overly like it's no way in the world I would paint something and be like, oh, okay, this gonna be $20,000.
like
I know I ain't there yet because some artists do.
I'm gonna use an example. Like Nipsey Hussle when he put out the $100 mixtape. He put out the $100 mixtape. He went to a food place in Philadelphia that had like they had $100 cheesesteak, and everybody around the world would go to this one place to get the $100 cheesesteak because it was $100. So he used that business model for his mixtape. Actually, he got a lot of people to support him because they just believed in the vision. They was like, okay, that's bold. That's very bold and of him to do that. So let's support him. And he got Jay-Z, I think, to buy 5,000 copies of 500 copies of his mixtape, which went to $5,000, of course. But he just took a risk. Sometimes it's like like he looked at it as it's value to what I'm selling you. So you're gonna buy it because you think it's so valuable, you're gonna pay the $100. And if you say you got money, you're gonna put the $100 up. So his target market was the people that didn't mind spending $100 on the mixtape.
Okay, so let's talk business model. Let's tell Kanye West. I'm gonna play devil's advocate on this one. I get what you're saying, but we also talking about Nipsey Hussle, right?
Yeah.
So you taking a me.
Mhm.
Nobody pay me no $100 mixtape. But what I'm saying is that's what I mean realistic. I can't my name ain't ringing like Nipsey name. You get what I'm saying? So I think it's also you are
Right.
I get you all your business, but you also got to think of who we talking about, right? So let's say if Nipsey wasn't who he is and he just pulled up on the scene and was like, I got these $100 mixtape. Don't nobody know you. So a lot of times when people get hot, okay, like let's say like Kevin Hart. Remember when Kevin Hart took off and nobody really was checking for him, but when his name started ringing, his value went up. So
Right.
yeah, I'm going to charge you for my name. People going to pay for that name because now it's a high commodity. You want to make sure that you can get there. So what about your business model? So that's like the same. I can't do the same thing as a Kevin Hart or Oprah Winfrey or somebody like that. I need to be realistic in my business model. And I think sometimes some people make that mistake of saying, "Oh, well, the Kardashians and Beyonce can do it." You ain't even one of them, boo boo. You still
Mm-mm.
let's take babe. Let's take, and I think some people don't want to crawl before they walk. They just want to take off running. And a lot of times
Now,
for
now,
longevity, you want to go about it the right way.
now, if you can get the Kardashians or somebody of that status to rep your brand, then that changes things. That changes the conversation because now you got the what is it called, publicity. You got the publicity on that level that you can up your prices because now you're going to get eyes all over the place on your product.
I'm sorry, I was reading the comment. I'm sorry. That's true. That again,
That's why
that
just
goes into how you. But see, you never know. But that's also you never know who gonna see it. But you gotta lock that in. And usually, when people you using their likeness and their name, okay, what you willing to give up? You're not gonna about. They ain't gonna do it for free. That's gonna come with a different value. So
let me
it's a
ask
lot of
you.
things that come into it.
Let me ask you a question from that question though. Like I was just saying. So say if a celebrity, say you did sell the shirt for like $10, and then it had a special logo or something on it, and then a celebrity copied it and put it all on their IG, and
Mhm.
then it went viral. Are you still selling that shirt for $10?
Okay, now, okay, let's
No.
let's take it back a little bit. Now, you said if the celebrity put it all out there and everybody wanted to show you for $10, okay, let's just say if I did up it, that celebrity depending on did I trademark it? How am I marketing this for
Right.
people to come back? So I wouldn't instantly do it. I would think gradually. Now, if I'm supplies, cost and demand, right?
Supply and demand. Supply and
There we
demand.
go, supply and demand. So okay, y'all selling me out. Now I got a demand. I got to put out a little bit more money. So I might gotta up it, but I'm not going to up it to $200. I'm still going to play fair because guess what? Think about it. If you wholesale, if you let's say I'm just going to throw a number out there. I'm not saying it's the real number. Let's say I get a wholesale price for like 100 shirts for. I'm gonna just say like 120, right? Or let's say a couple hundred shirts for like, well, probably less than that. I don't know. But even if I upped it to maybe 25, 30, I'm not gonna go $100. I'm still going to make up. You get what I'm saying? You still want to make a profit, but you also still want to put money back and you still want to be also able to see, okay, this is what I got coming in. I still believe in steps. Because if you go from this to this, you gotta also think, are people going to turn away from me? Or how long is this going to last? Because I still want to keep them because I want to push another product. I might not just want to do shirts because sometimes that gets boring. You want to still constantly recreate and then reinvent yourself.
Hmm.
That's what I would say. I wouldn't just jump the gun and go up the mountain. No, oh, okay. Let me jump off the curb a little bit and go up
But
the
you
street.
definitely gotta like rethink your business model because now I'm pretty sure because of that celebrity, because a lot of people buy stuff that celebrities wear, specifically like Rihanna, Beyonce, Nicki Minaj. If they wear something, it's usually sold out. Uh, if it's found somewhere.
Rihanna is
So like,
reasonably priced though. That's why Fenty took off. Rihanna is not overly priced. When you go on Fenty, her bras, underwear, lingerie is reasonably priced and affordable. It's
right,
not like you see why Beyonce little thing done folded. Some sweat, what is it? Little leotards and stuff was like $1,000. Miss Ma'am.
yeah,
No,
yeah.
Rihanna. Okay, get your little bro. We got two for 40 going on. Okay, Riri, let me go on
Well,
Fenty. And
I'm
it's
sorry, I can't buy no bra for $40. So
no, no, no. I'm just saying, like you get what I mean. Like, see, let's just say she had it, and it's good quality, and she might have a little sale, but it's affordable for your pockets, and you still getting a good little. Well, not for us, but you know what I mean.
Right.
You get what
That's
I'm
what
saying?
I'm saying.
So she has a target audience. Okay, so
Hmm.
not only are you supporting Rihanna, who everybody loves, and don't nobody come on here and say nothing bad about Rihanna. So we
No.
all love Rihanna. That's it. That's it. That's point blank on that. And then so we all support her, but she's not breaking the pockets. Think about the economy. Think about the price that people paying. So you think people struggling to pay $10 for some eggs, and they're going to pay $120 for a plain white tea when they can go to little Ling Ling and them and get it for $5? Be reasonable.
Right. So that leads into like I do hair. So why do people think because I'm at home, I shouldn't charge the same price as you going to a shop? But when you step out of my chair, you're gonna look just like you just came from there.
That is true. I, I look at it like this. I think some people, it depends on who it is. One thing that I've noticed, and don't nobody hate me for this, and I'm quite sure if Drew's still listening, she can relate. Sometimes people, when they get comfortable with you or people that you know, they think they're not supposed to pay you like how they would pay somebody else. So you want to shortchange me, but you'll go pay somebody else you know, top
Mm-hmm.
freaking dollar, but you want to lowball me.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes our biggest support comes from people we don't know. But sometimes we just
Right.
don't go outside of what we know to get to the people that don't know us. And then it's kind of like the other thing is even like with just like being organized. And I think she said it'd be friends and family. Let me go back to the other comment though, because I just want to read this before I continue on to the being organized. She said, Drew said, shit. It's a whole bunch of S's, H's, I's, and D's. I can't go that long because it's gonna take a minute. She was like, shit, somebody painted a big ass, wait a minute, a big ass, so royal blue. What? Oh, wait a minute. Somebody painted a big ass, so royal blue painting and sold it for millions. I'm just waiting for the day somebody buy $1 million booty from me because she be painting butts. So if y'all want a picture of her ass, go to Drew Creations on Instagram and on Facebook. And she got a bunch of asses y'all can buy for a nice, reasonable price. Now, um, oh, she said salad. Oh, a big ass salad, royal blue. Okay, I'm sorry. Anyway, back to being organized. I think a lot of people go wrong when um they're not organized. And I think being organized when you have a business is important because you ever go somewhere and shit just seem all over the place, like nothing is structured.
Mm-hmm.
And I think sometimes you know some things that tick you off when you go into a business or when you go into something like I would think like what would I want this to look like or what bothers me? What can this is how I can be better because I don't want that or I don't want somebody to think that way when they come to me. So I think how we organize and structure our stuff is really important. But a lot of people fail in business by not being organized and not really having a plan in place. And I get we just do it because we got the money or we just doing whatever, but we really don't organize our stuff and plan. Sometimes I'm one of them people, I want to plan for the coulda, woulda, shoulda before I plan for the what's going to go smoothly. I want to plan for what is going to happen that's going to go wrong. My mind goes straight there.
Mm-hmm.
And then I get the panicking. But guess what? It be a plan in place. And I think some people just don't do that, even down to the times when they open. Like you ever see some people, how people structure their business is how they structure their business. But if you have set hours, why are you closed?
Oh, I hate that.
Yeah.
I hate that.
Yes.
How come?
Yes.
I don't even care if I come in 2 minutes till close. I'm sorry.
Right.
Sometimes I do that. You gotta be open. I don't care.
If your time say five, it's five. It's not 4:58.
Right?
It's five.
Exactly. People be cleaning up 10 minutes till.
No, or they'll just be closed. Like, okay, if I go on and you say you open from like let's say 9, let's say 4:30, right? I go there at 9:30, 10 o'clock. You close. So I might go and I'm like, hey, what time you open? How you get smart with me? Because you close. This is what you set your hours to be. And it's my business. And this is the thing that gets me with people. And I know we always be like support small businesses. Don't get smart when somebody go by what you put out there for your business.
Mm-hmm.
It's my business. I do what I want to do. They just gonna have to wait. They just gonna have to wait. No, I'm not. I'm just gonna go somewhere else that's open and ready to take my little coins.
Exactly. You
And
lost it.
that's the thing people don't want to get. And then you wonder why your business declined because I'm one of them type of people. One bad experience, you ain't gotta worry about me no more.
Right.
Oh
That's
yeah.
me.
I'm big on customer service.
Mm-hmm.
It gotta be good because that's real big for me. Like if you rub me the wrong way, like, I'm definitely not spending my money with you. Come on now.
Especially if you be like, you can go somewhere else. Shoot, motherfucker, right? I ain't gonna lie. It be like, and then it's like I think how it's gonna take me into where we want to go with professionalism. How we talk to people. I get everybody want a business. I'm still trying to figure out just in general, where did having an attitude, getting smart with people, thinking you gotta pop your neck every time it's something that you don't allegedly like became cute or professional. And people think that it's acceptable and you want to kiki about it like you did something. But then when you got a post that going out of business, you mad talking about don't nobody want to support you.
Yeah,
Who wants to support you when this is what you're doing?
yeah,
Either you can say, okay, we got this, that, and this, that, and third. When you run out of stuff and you know you ain't gonna sell it no more, take it off.
right.
Don't leave it up. Take it down. No longer available. No longer available will not be restocked. I don't know. I don't know why we got what we got. Oh, okay.
And you
Yeah.
know,
I don't.
another thing I don't like is when they don't have stuff in stock. Never. They never have what you want in stock. Ever. Like when y'all gonna get it in? They don't know when they gonna get it in. They ain't even thinking about it.
Yeah.
No, what I hate is when I'm actually being very nice and showing you manners, and you get mad because I got manners. Because I yes ma'am, yes sir, no ma'am. I do that. I do it for everybody. If I'm talking to you, you ask me a question, yes ma'am, no ma'am. And I
Oh,
had one lady, you can stop with the ma'ams. What?
what? Oh yeah, that's
I've been
crazy.
like, so
That's crazy.
no, but Jude just made a good point. Like I'm gonna tell you when I walk out, this is exactly my point. You can walk into somebody's business, like I could hear about it. Like let's say Tierra says, friend, I just went out of this place, da 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 da. It was real cool. This is that and the third. I'm like, oh, for real? And I might like whatever she had. I'm gonna go check them out. I go in, like you said, as soon as that little ding ding ding, you know how to do it. They be having the bell on the door and shit, or the little ding ding, and they be like. Oh, let me see y'all later. Y'all have a good day. I'm walking right the fuck back out. My presence should not annoy you.
Yeah. Yeah,
No.
like I feel like in business you gotta take some kind of training course. As far as if you're in your if it's your own business, you gotta have your own I like the training course, not just yourself, but your staff. Like you have to have customer service skills. You gotta have good customer service skills. You can't, just be getting your
Well, going
customers
back to my
service.
original thing, can you afford the training?
Hey, look, you can't get your customer service skills from the block. Like, yeah, what's up? What you
You,
want? What you
but
need?
you know what people don't realize that's real helpful and it's free because it's all over like YouTube and stuff. They use it in schools and like colleges. Like when I was in school, one thing they always do when it comes to like communication and how you like running an organization or different like instances that may happen of how to communicate and navigate it. TED Talks.
Ah,
It's on like LinkedIn, all of that stuff. You can go right on there. TED Talks. There are several ready videos that's for free that will show you scenarios or how you should conduct yourself. A lot of times we get into these business and we have unrealistic expectations, or we feel like, cause can't nobody tell me da 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 da. This is that and the third. When you go into it with that attitude, I hope you know you're not going to have longevity, because if that's what you're going to do, you're going to keep just selling to your homegirls and your homeboys or whoever that act just like you. But nobody you want to you're not going to be able to expand with a nasty attitude.
Yeah, you're not.
Especially not with nobody like me. I believe in Yelp. I Yelp stuff out of people. And I'm gonna make sure I can get a name. If I don't have your name, I'm gonna describe you to a T.
Oh man,
I
that's
want you to know the bad encounter, and I wish you would reply under mine. I'm the Yelp queen. I will leave a review in a heartbeat. Mm-mm.
I think
It's falling apart.
another big thing for me with businesses, as far as like with food, is cleanliness. Like cleanliness, being clean, washing your hands. Making sure the place of business is looking up to par. That's real big for me.
I don't even care if you got gloves on. Don't just throw my shit on. I'm sorry, but don't just throw my stuff around. You never see some people like if you got a spoon. I don't care if you got gloves on. Don't scoop my stuff and do like you can keep it. Don't flip my food nowhere.
Yeah.
People will think because they got on gloves, they can just manhandle your food. Like, what the? Why did you pick? Y'all ain't got no tonsils, no. Like, you ever see people just toss your stuff around and then be like, what else? You be like, Dad, I don't even want that. Like, did you just flick my food like that,
No,
ma'am?
I'm gonna tell you a crazy experience I had. Like, and this is after COVID. Like, I went into a up in DC. It's like this place called Z Burger. It's sort of like what is it? Five Guys. It's like a lower version of a Five Guys. But I went
Yeah,
in
we
there
have
and
it here.
oh, okay. That's what the guy was behind the register. He had like no mask on and he was just coughing and sneezing and like putting his like no gloves on, coughing and sneezing, and then like putting his hands on people's burgers. And like my burger was up, my burger was about to get made. I looked right at him. I said, "Bro, you gonna wash your hands, bro? You gonna put a mask on?" And he looked right at me like, "Oh, I'm sorry." And I was like, "Bro, you know how much germs you spreading by just doing that? Like if you
Oh, you
can't."
better than me. I'd have left.
I was getting ready to say I wouldn't even ask you a question. Like Drew said, as soon as I've seen somebody doing like this,
Yeah, I've been gone.
I'm out. I ain't even canceling. I'm just gonna walk off. And let me tell you, I know how to walk the fuck off. But people,
No, but that was a teachable moment for him though, because it's like it's crazy because his supervisor was right there, and I'm like, damn, you the supervisor, bro. You don't see this dude coughing and sneezing?
people don't understand. Even though you walked off, just think about how many people they did that to, and still they paid for it and ate that shit.
That's what I'm saying. And germs, and they probably got sick. I'm like, you gotta know, and that's another. You gotta know who preparing your meals. You gotta see. I gotta be able to see you. I can't. I don't want to see. I don't like that shit behind the glass. That Chinese, like the Chinese food, you having to make your food behind a wall and stuff. Nah, bro.
Let me tell you what I do when I go to when I go to the Chinese joint, and I be in there. If they got that little thing where you can't see, it's always a little slit where you can see straight to the kitchen. I be standing right there.
Yeah,
They be like 10 minutes, okay, and I'm gonna still look, ma'am. Sit down. Like, don't do me. Baby man, I want to see what you doing. Like, no, if it's nowhere in the world I cannot be able to see what y'all tossing in them pans. No. Mm-mm.
yeah, man. I had to stop eating Chinese. When you don't know what kind of meat you're eating when you're eating the food, it's like I was thrown off. I was like, General Tso's chicken. What is this? Like the texture of the meat was just like off. I was like,
Your family will get you. Let me tell you, my aunt. Prime example, and then we're gonna go to break. Let me just tell y'all this story. Never forget it. I was probably like 15, 16, right? We go over, having family dinner. I'm all like, yeah, da 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 da. So aunt goes, here now. Try this. It's good. I'm like, what is this? Chicken. She like, mm-hmm. Want some gravy, put on some rice. Go ahead, eat it. I'm all like, this chicken, this good. It's all nice and tender. She was like, that rabbit was good. What? You going to tell me you don't eat no damn rabbit. You don't eat this. I was like, why you ain't tell me? I ate the bunny. She was like, girl, please, it's time. Go get yourself some more because you like it. It's good. It be your own peoples that will feed you some stuff that you don't know. And then be like, oh, it was a cow tongue in that. You'd be like,
Oh, yeah. A rabbit though?
I don't
You
be
ate
trusting.
rabbit?
Huh?
You ate
No, I eat
rabbit?
rabbit now. I eat rabbit now. She done, but I'm just saying she could have told me. She ain't had to do me like that because I was just like, because I kept saying I'm not eating because I had a rabbit we had a rabbit at the time. So
Oh,
you get what I'm saying? So you trying to give me
oh,
sterling like no.
that, that would throw me off if I seen that on the menu. Fried rabbit or fried this stuff. I'm like, oh
But the
god.
French people got duck and quail. What they call it? Quail? Is it quail? They call it like when you go to French restaurants and they like specialize in duck.
Yeah.
And you'd be like, is it? I think roasted duck.
Yeah,
Stuff. You'd be like duck mignon. You'd be like, what?
yeah, I heard deer meat was good. They say deer meat is good.
Who? Deer meat?
Deer meat,
I never ate Bambi before.
Dear me, ew.
I can't even. All I get to see a deer on the side of the road. This guy ran over. I'm like, nah. And
Yeah, I never ate Bambi. Yeah, I haven't ate Bambi yet. But
Mm-mm.
see, we're gonna come back. So she stuck with me for another hour. I don't care. So we got what 5, 6 minutes. So Tierra gonna be back with me, y'all. We gonna finish about professionalism things, some businesses. You guys can stop your business, of course. Um, shout out to businesses again when we come back from the break, and also for the businesses mentioned tonight. If you go to Casual Convo Facebook and Instagram, you will be able to. I will put up and I will post it and how you can reach out to the people who businesses mentioned. And if you want your business mentioned, comment it, call in, talk about it, do what you got to do. I'm not, even though if I know you have a business, if you don't tell me and follow the directions, I'm not mentioning it. So
there we go.
follow
Period.
the
Right.
directions. And then we will see you guys in what, 5 minutes, 5, 6 minutes. So you guys can go get something to drink and go to the bathroom and we'll be right back.
Yeah.
Let me get back.
Perfectly, and if it's not done perfectly, it's not professional. There's no reason to not operate at a high level, right? Like, I'm talking about the highest level that you could possibly operate at. And if you think about it, most people are not operating at the highest level, right? Like, if you look at your business and you look at the way that you do things, there is an optimum, highest professional way to do it. And then there's just whatever between that and average, right? But most people are not operating at this highest level. Like, I'm talking about, like, sending an email. Are you sending the email in the most professional way that you possibly could? Are you having a conversation with somebody in the highest professional way that you possibly could? Or if you're given a task to do, are you doing it in the highest professional way that you could do? And that's just how I think with everything, right? Like, if people just thought with that, like, okay, how can I be the epitome of professional? And professional doesn't necessarily mean like, you're suited up and you're like, I'm professional because I'm wearing a suit or whatever. It doesn't mean that. It means that you're so competent that it resonates. Like, it just permeates the environment because you're operating at such a high level of professionalism. Like, everything's got to be done perfectly. And if it's not done perfectly, it's not professional.
So
You know
look
what I
at
mean?
attention to detail.
Yeah, it's huge attention to detail. So it's not about the way that you're dressed, right? Like, look at how I'm dressed. I got sneakers on, I got ripped jeans and a
Yeah,
sweatshirt.
but they don't match.
No, but professionalism, people think like, oh, you show up to a meeting and you're suited up and you cufflinks and you have like the Ferragamos and whatever, and if you're a girl, you have the Lubies on or whatever, right? Like that's part of being professional, but it's not the whole reason that puts it in a bow, right? At the end of the day, it's like, man, it's like a high level of competency. And when you can have that and you're striving for that every day, and you never like say, oh, okay, it was the best that I could do, or we did a project and it turned out okay, as opposed to being at the highest level. So I demand that of myself, and I feel like because I demand that of myself, I feel free to demand that of other people. It's only when you don't demand it of yourself, you start feeling guilty about demanding it from other people, right? So for me, it's like that's just it's always on with that, and it's super important. You don't want to be a dilettante at things. Like you want people to be like, wow, you know what? Maybe I don't like him or her, but you know what? All I know is that that person is super competent, and they do everything at the highest level.
And that implies, attention to detail, doing it right, following through, saying what you're going to do something and then doing it.
Being on time. Being on time is a big one. Doing what you say you're going to do. Responding super fast to things. That's all level of professionalism, And then getting done whatever you're supposed to do at like the highest level.
I'm sorry, I was on mute. Hey y'all, welcome back to the Casual Convo Show. We were talking about business and professionalism. Slipping on my professionalism just now. I was on mute, so I'm sorry. But y'all see how I did that? I was professional. I communicated. I did all of those great things. But we are back. And I know the first half we touched on a bunch of things from things that people do in business that's kind of that's the right ways and the wrong ways, some things that help get to business in order so that you can be organized, and then where people go wrong and being disorganized, and then of course to the unprofessional. But if you were tuned into Handradio, I'm sorry, yeah, handradio.org, and you saw the video, the brief video, the one thing, and we're also going to get into it, that I did like that they mentioned was even in when you go into business and people start asking you questions, people want to see how competent you are, like how knowledgeable you are of actually what you're selling or what you are trying to push on people. No matter what your area of business is, if it's clothes, if it's hair, if it's you selling cars, if you doing stuff, you can't just be like, just buy the car because it look nice. They're gonna ask you specific questions. If you're trying to sell real estate, you selling um paintings, whatever, they might want to ask you what kind of paint do you use, how long what do you varnish with. If you don't know what a varnish is, they might be like, never mind. So it's a whole bunch of different things. You want to make sure you are as knowledgeable as you can, and that can also be in your research, because sometimes we think, oh, I know this, but in reality there's a lot we don't know. So that's why I said, as the markets are always changing, no matter what you do, because technology continuously changes, and you always want to stay knowledgeable and competitive within your business and whatever it is that you're trying to do to stay afloat, to stay creative and unique, and to still relate to the people that you already have, and also expand. I think the main issue that a lot of us have is we don't think outside the box, or we don't think about expansion. We don't think about okay, I got this group of people. So now sometimes you want to continue and you want to have a broader or wider reach instead of just being local, if that makes sense. Is Tierra here?
I'm here.
Okay, so welcome back, Tierra. I said all of that. Welcome back, Tierra.
Thank you.
That's for the day she's filling in for my sick and shut in Bosco from the Bronx. He's a little under the weather today. Of course, we miss his commentary and feedback. I don't have anybody to go back. It's fine. I don't know if Rich still here. He probably though he'll probably come back in when he
I'm here. I'm here.
Oh, you did? Oh, I'm sorry. Have Rich? You want to tell people who you are? Because I don't even think I introduced you. Or you want me to do it?
Yeah, you can go.
I can tell the truth.
Tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth. So help you God.
So, to those of you who don't know, the voice behind the Hand TV logo is actually Rich. That's the behind the scenes man, the big boss man to make all of these things possible so that we can talk to you guys, so that you can see us, so that you can interact with us and do all the things that we love for you to do. So that is Rich. You can also he's also selling ham radio merch on hamradio.org.shop. What is it?
Slash, slash shop. Handradio.org/shop. Get you some
Okay.
shirts.
Yeah. Hamradio.org/shop. So that you can get your merch, your t-shirts, your hoodies, we got hats, all of that good stuff, and you can support Ham Radio in that way. Also, you can just visit the Ham Radio website at any time. You can hear music, you can hear Bosco every Wednesday from 6 to 8. On Wednesdays, he does his mix, right? And then you just stay on, and then you get me, Bosco, Tierra pop in from time to time, Jude pop in from time to time. Also, Jude, let me go back through the list. So we have, I'm sorry, I wasn't prepared. Okay, so we have the Jude Creations. Also, you can go to her social media is also on Instagram and Facebook, the Jude Creations. And then you also have Lamont Pleasant. He has Imperial Data Services. And then we also have a Teeth Effect, Best Parties, event party promoter. You want to do a party, you want to do anything, hit him up. A Teeth Effect. You can go there. Also, I'm celebrating my birthday with him in June 3rd. So there's actually a party coming up. You can see the turnout for his events. Everybody has a nice time. You're gonna dance, you're gonna have good music, and everybody just party. Party for all ages. And who did I forget? And then we have Jay Nathaniel Photography. That's also like my best friend, my bro. For your dope pictures, just put them up on Facebook and Instagram, and you can get some great pictures, and you can also see his work as well. And of course, even though she said it whenever she decided to post it and do hair, and then we're gonna say she's coming soon, which is my guess, because I'm gonna make sure she comes sooner than what she thinks she's gonna come, because she's too crafty and too talented to not be out there already. So, she do hair. I'm not a good example today, but when I get it done and I come on here and I'm real cute and I be like, hair done by, it's gonna be done. Also I have a couple of shirts she made. We gonna get her in that. What else we doing? We doing candles, we doing cups. What you got? She got a whole bunch of stuff coming soon. So we just gonna say soon to come, Tierra Johnson Brown. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Now, Fred, what was we talking about? Oh, I don't want to. Um, Depending on your business, I think one thing before we get into the rest of professionalism is contracts. Oh, Gerald said he needs. I mean, Jay Nathaniel said yes because he needs some braids and a shirt to show him off in. So we
Jada
gonna hit
thing.
you.
Can I answer that real quick?
Let me go on mute.
Don't go on me with Jay Nathaniel. Jay Nathaniel been asking me about braids for months now, and every time he asks, he disappears. So Jay Nathaniel, when you serious, please hit me up. I'm here. You know where I live.
And that's on purpose. Which this is something that me and Jay talk about a lot because of with his photography thing. I think is contracts. Um, I would say if you whatever your business is, and if you're going to contract a service, um, even if Jude is still listening, even when it comes down to your art,
Mm-hmm.
have a contract, especially if you're doing a commission piece. Uh, Contract your services, what they agree to. If you're going to do deposits, it's okay. But the one thing I will say to business owners is when you want deposits and you drop these contracts, make sure you can stick to what's in the contract.
Yeah.
Don't breach the contract because then you're responsible for it. See, people think contracts work one way, and a lot of times we see, especially small business, they just throw. Some people just download a contract and don't read it.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
I usually say try to create your own for your business that you can stick to what goes in the lines of your businesses. There's so many like templates, there's so many resources that can show you how to word and develop your contract. If there are certain like compliance laws, licenses that you should have, regulations that you have to abide by, make sure your contract is in alliance with that.
Right.
Because because people get funny and they can be like, because this wasn't in there and they supposed to have this. Because people will go into and some people, let's just say it's call a spade a spade. People will try to get over on you and get your services for free. So
Mm-hmm.
protect yourself.
It's okay to have a legal professional look over your contracts as well.
Yep.
If you don't know some of the terminology in the contract, because a lot of times people you don't want to guess what a word means in a contract that you're going to sign. You want to know what the word means, and if a legal professional can help you understand legally what the terms
Mhm.
mean in regard to the contract, that is that's a good business method I would suggest.
And one thing I do is I like to tell people read it thoroughly. If you have any questions, don't just sign it because some people, if a person, this is to the consumer base, not the business owner. So I mean, I'm on your side too, but let me talk to the people that's going to get y'all their money. Read them contracts, understand what you're signing, make sure that it's there. And I think the other piece for the business owner is to be as transparent as possible as into what you're doing. When it looks like you're hiding stuff, it kind of it doesn't really it's not a good look. And I feel like transparency makes people more comfortable to continue to do business with you. You can't just come up out the blue. Oh well, da 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 da, and they gonna be like, well, that wasn't in the contract because you're not being transparent, and you can't do as you go with
And
once somebody already signs on for one thing. Now you want to change the game in the middle. Don't work that way.
Mm-hmm.
also, you want to make sure that most contracts are they're according to they're by state. So whatever state is like, there's certain laws and rules that change when you go to different states. So certain contracts, depending on the industry, it has to be according to that state, and you also want to make sure that too.
I say do that before you even start the business. Like how when you thinking about it, and you're like, I want to do this. That can be a part of your research as to what do I need to have, what rules do I really have to follow? Because even though we want to structure it based on how we want to run it, I think we forget about compliancy and that there are also regulations that have to be followed, that have to be met. And even though when you're being contracted for a service or a product, you want to make sure you're still within them guidelines. Where so if something go wrong,
Like I'm gonna give y'all an example. Um, in the ham radio, this is for those interested in being a part of ham radio. I'm gonna throw a little plug in. So in our contracts, it's a contract. It's a part of the contract that says who owns the intellectual property of the work. So the person who's producing the podcast or the show or the commercial, the person who produces that, who does that actual show, owns their intellectual property. And radio does not own it. the person, the creator that creates the work owns the intellectual property. So what is your intellectual property? It's your work. It's your podcast. It's your commercial. It's your show. That's your intellectual property. You always want to own your intellectual property, because if you don't own it, you can't market it. You can't make money off of it. You can't advertise on it because you don't own it. So when you're doing a podcast or a show or anything like that, your intellectual property is very important.
So there y'all have it. Listen, yes. I mean, read over your contracts. Make sure everybody's speaking to the end.
Especially residential ones. When you renting from somewhere, please read them.
Yes. Including the one thing is I'm gonna tell y'all something like this happened to one of my kids. They was somewhere and I forgot what it was, but you know how you get the paperwork. So I've taught my children to read. I don't care how long it takes you. If somebody is rushing you to sign something, to me that's a red flag. Don't just put a piece of paper in my face and say sign here. If I see a bunch of words, I'm gonna read it. I don't care what you explain to me. You gave me the surface. I need to see what else is under here before, because I want to read each and every line. And I'm a little blind because I got astigmatism. So what I do, even if I got to take a screenshot and y'all know how we spread it, make it make it big. I'm going to read it and make sure I understand it. Ask questions. So anyway, he was telling me how the lady was like, I mean, you can just sign it and then you can read it when you go. He was like, no, I'm gonna read it before I sign it. So she had a whole problem with that. So what he ended up doing was he said, well, I don't want it. And I said, you're damn right, because you can probably get it from somewhere else. Because when people are pressuring you to sign something, that
Hmm.
should set an alarm in your head of why. And a lot of people get stuck in bad contracts and bad deals by not reading something or just trusting that what this person explains to you, they could, like, I can put a piece of paper in your hand and say, oh well, this just say, da 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 da, and then that's it, that's all, like, we good. But then when you get it and then something go wrong and then you read it, I can be like, because it say right here, it's all final. And you're gonna be like, she got me. You get what I'm saying? So that way you need to know, like, I got a question about this. And then also, depending on the contract, sometimes those things can be altered, revised. You can say, look, I don't agree with this. And if you see if the person is willing to negotiate, like I said, depending on the business or whatever. And some people, depending on who it is, most people who do good business try to play fair, depending on what the request is. That's my suggestion. Like, if you have a question about something or don't look right, it's not to your liking, you could take it or leave it, or you can say, hey, is there a way that we can maybe change this to XYZ? And then I'm all good. But if your compromise or your negotiation is unreasonable to the person providing the service, they do have the right to say no and decline your business. So some people think because you come in with money that is solidified and that you right. I'ma just tell y'all from experience. The customer ain't always right.
No.
Some of y'all play too many games. Some people play too many games, but I need people who have businesses to understand you don't every dollar you don't have to take. It's okay to say no. It's just the same way that person has the right to know where they want to spend their money. You have the right to say, I don't want your business. Because people think because they give you or they want to give you money that they can do whatever or treat your business any kind of way. And that's just not the thing. And that go both ways. If the person is paying you, and let's say they're honoring their contract and doing whatever they have to do, you as the business owner, that's why I said make sure you can also stick to the contract that you set. That's why I said make sure it's going to always be reasonable. And also, the biggest thing is communication. Some people just think, okay, I'm gonna just sign this. I'm gonna just get them to do this, and then I don't. You don't have to communicate. The one thing I like to do, whether it's art this even with like me and Bosco. I stay in communication.
Mm-hmm.
Huh?
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, like even if it's me and Bosco, I keep in communication with him. If I do a commission painting with somebody, even if it's my friends, I need some details. I'm still going to let you know my progress, even if it could be something like, let's just say it didn't come out, because like you say, sometimes with artists we get real intense about our stuff. It's like anybody else. We might be like, oh well, this didn't do this. If it's something that may change or something that I might have altered because it just didn't work, I'm gonna see what you think about it. I'm not just gonna do something and not communicate with you. So I think improving and making sure you have solid communication skills to not only conduct your business, but keeping communication with people and be reachable during the whole time of your contract with that person until you have completed the service and that contract has ended. That's it. So what else y'all got on contracts before I go to the next one? Nothing. She watching the Lakers game.
No, I'm sorry. I'm back. I'm here.
I'm over here. See, this is when I almost became unprofessional. And from we just had this conversation. Let me tell you a conversation that we just had about this. So she said, what did you say, friend? You need people to understand sometimes the energy can be reciprocated
Mm-hmm.
because people think the customer always right. So let's just say I don't know Tierra, and I'm like, okay, I want my hair done.
Right.
And when I communicate with her every time she's being pleasant, like she said, she may say ma'am or, hey, well, da 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 da. No, because da 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 da. I don't what you do, but you gonna do this, is that, and the third. I'm just real attitude. And I'm just get caught, just dishing out all of this bad energy.
Right.
Eventually, Tierra might say, but you can get about my chair and go ahead about your business and just leave me looking like buckwheat. Now I can fuss and cuss, but guess what? I'm gonna be walking out looking like looking like buckwheat. So I think we also have to be mindful and respect people businesses too and how we talk to people.
But I
You
had a
know?
customer, but it wasn't. She wasn't the one being irate. It was her mother. She felt like I was taking too long. So she was on the phone with the person that brought the child. I was doing a child. So the person that brought the child, she was on the phone with her mother, and she felt like I was taking too long. So while she was on the phone, I said, after I'm done, make this the last time you bring her.
Wait a minute, you said when you had said that you like texted to her?
No, she was sitting there. After I'm done, make this the last time that you bring her. If you have a problem with how long I take, don't bring her to me. I wasn't rude. She was rude on the phone with what she was saying. If you have an issue, make this the last time you bring her. Huh? You muted or something.
Oh, that's how you said it.
Yes.
So let's talk about this professionalism thing. Facial expressions. The one thing that I had to learn, and when I took these classes, are facial expressions. So, Tierra, let's dissect this. So, when you said, ma'am, when I finish this, don't
This
bring
the
her back
shade.
to me. What was the eyebrows and face doing? See, I know you because you probably cut your eye and set it and then did a slight roll.
Well, the mother didn't really get it. It was the person that brought her, which was a person that I know very well. So I said it to her, like, don't make sure you don't bring her back. Like, because her mother, she on the phone, popping all this, she popping off on the phone, and I can hear it.
I'm
So
listening.
my face was probably my eyebrows was probably scrunched up. I'm sure. But my mouth didn't say it rudely. My face was probably rude, but my mouth wasn't.
I'm pretty much sure it was. I can almost bet money it was. Um, but I think be realistic. Now, one thing I can say that you will say is I take my time. If you want something quick in less than an hour and a mess, okay, well you can go to somebody else.
I give
But
disclaimers all day.
right. So we know what we get when we come into you. Um Jay Nathaniel said, my face does not know how to use its inside voice. I'm presently and actively working on that. Well, your face and your voice does not know how to use the inside voice, Jay Nathaniel, because last I checked, let's talk about this. Um, Gestures. Gestures include eye rolling, neck popping, grunting, breathing hard. What else? Am I leaving out something else? Um, a lot of
I give a stupid face all the time. Like I give you a look that's like you stupid. I'm sorry. Like you don't know the people I've run into at my places of employment.
I do. Well, the one thing I can say that I'm working on is the eye roll. I mean, I have a habit of blinking, especially when I'm trying to get my thoughts together. So when a person be like, "Why are you blinking?" I'd be like, "Oh wow." I'm like, oh, "Okay, I was just thinking of a response." Because sometimes we should probably think before we speak, and I'm learning how to do that because sometimes when I don't, the wrong thing blurts out most of the time. So I think we have to. People don't understand like your attitude, your behavior, your mannerisms. Yes, Nathaniel, I'm airing you out because when you go, ugh,
Mm.
it kind of make people think you don't want them around, and we don't want our customers or our patrons to think that we don't want them there. Um, I think learning how to deal with. I think this is the part where Rich was talking about training. When you're dealing with people, everybody is not an easy. So you have those hard people that's like either they're indecisive, really, really picky. Like for me, let's just take like we were talking about food. Prime example. You ever see that one person? Oh, don't let that touch that because if you do that, can you don't use that? Wipe a little bit of that off. Can you put this right there? Can you put that? No, 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 don't put that. Just go ahead and take that over there. I don't want that like that. That's too much. Take some of that off. Oh, can you put another piece of that? And then when you put it on there, make sure it's even. And then can you cut it directly in the center? Those are the people I'm like, you should have just stayed home and cooked your stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You holding up the process. And then it'd be funny because it could be like, let's just say it's a $5 foot long. You acting like you just ordered filet mignon or a whole crab cake. And you being like, I'm paying my money. You want my money. It's going to be how I want it to be.
Mm-hmm.
You just took too much
You
time in
know,
the line waiting. And we all just sitting here like,
you know what? You can be as nice as you want to be. You're still gonna have a difficult customer. You're
mhm,
gonna have one or two. You know, either way, you can provide a great service and they still find something wrong. Because sometimes people be going through stuff in life and they take it out on everybody, and it's like you can't control that at the end of the day. You know, so you just try to be as professional as possible. Listen to what they got to say. Try to help them get what they need and keep it moving. Because at the end of the day, it's not their
give me
fault.
an example of your worst client, your worst experience of of like a the type of what is it called? What you just said of not unhappy. What are they called? Difficult of a difficult client. Right.
Man, I would have to go back to when I worked a job.
Okay.
It was like I'm trying to think. I got to go back. Give me a minute. Let me think.
I had quite a few. Now I have come a long way. I know Jay Nathaniel can vouch for this. I used to clock out. They look for me. They be like, "Where's she go?" In the parking lot, cause she had me. So, but now I just be like, I don't, girl, go ahead somewhere, cause I don't even want to do that. Um, I think doing this, I haven't had one now. I've had like,
I've had
again, some people don't take your stuff too. So yes, I was all the way outside. He understands. When I say I was in the parking lot, I did. I literally took swipe. Yes, I'm out here. I ain't even on your time no more. I'm on my own. I remember one time the whole floor came and got me. The lady was hiding in the room.
yeah, I've had a parent cuss me the filth here. Yeah, because you work in a medical office.
Hmm.
You know, there's HIPAA. So your daughter chose to be hot in her pants at 14 and she got pregnant. So now that she's pregnant, she's her own responsibility. So now you want to call, you want to know all this information, you want to know when her appointment is, when this, when this. I can't tell you that information, man. That's my effing daughter. How you not going, ma'am? She's now pregnant. She's her own responsibility now. Once she has that baby and she gives, I'll tell you what you want. But as long as she's pregnant, I can't give you that information.
And they like, oh, but y'all can send me the bill.
Right.
I'll be like, y'all, and you still gonna pay it with your good insurance.
And you're going to pay it.
That's it. That's all.
I said, no, and if you want to tell your daughter to come up here and sign something stating that she wants you to have her information, we can do that. Girl, she totally cussed me out.
I used to get cussed out, but then I think, well, this is to anybody in healthcare, especially if you work in pediatrics, or even if you have children that go to pediatric offices. The thing that used to get me, like you said, was when they're minors, and if they're like sexually active, and when certain things we don't have to disclose if it's not an immediate threat or harm to life,
Hmm.
right? So I mean, because why you got to put me out the room? So I noticed how stressful that was, not only for the healthcare, professional or worker, but also for the family. So what I started to do was I would have the conversation with the parent off rip. Hey, listen, at some point, now it's up to the child. They may say da 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 da. I know you might not agree with it, but by law, you need to take this up with the state of Maryland, the government, whoever created these regulations, but we have to abide by them in this way. Now, if it's something harmful, or they're threatening to take a life or something like that, the provider may bring you in and have a discussion, but it has to be very tactical. You get what I'm saying? Like, but trust is not going to be, oh, we just keeping secrets. And I think sometimes how we deliver it and when we deliver it, it lessens the blow. And then I would get to the point where they would be like, I ain't going back there. They're gonna put me out anyway. Now we stand eye to eye. We good. That was the one thing that saved me with a lot. But I don't think I really had too many experiences with, yes, I did. I don't know if I want to talk about it. Where you had some people that will just try to see how they can benefit from you but don't want to support you. Did that make sense?
Hmm.
Or it'll be like, I guess when we talk about where support and how people support you, how people do things, like the key thing is, people say you can't tell nobody how to support you. You're absolutely correct. But you can't tell me how I respond to your lack of support. Right?
Right.
Um some people, they have to see benefit, or, oh, this is this is not, going to benefit me, but may turn around and want you to show them the utmost support. Petty or not, I can choose whether or not if I want to return the favor. You get what I mean? And then it's kind of like, or if they notice, all right, like let's say, right, like ham radio, right? And they might be like, oh well, I'm not going on it because it just, this is in the third because it may be this arena. So let's say they may go somewhere else and everybody might be talking about ham radio, right? Oh, everybody watching it. Yeah, they might be like, yeah, I know Rich, that's my homie. Like this is in the third. But they don't never click, they don't never do nothing, they don't never like mention you, do none of this.
They'll never share like
Nothing. But then when it comes to their business, oh,
yeah.
can you put this?
Can you put a promo on there for me? Give me the
No.
radio, can you give me the voiceover, give me all that.
I learned the hard way. Guess what my answer be? Mm-mm.
Yeah.
Nope.
I'll
And
tell
they
you,
like, just go ahead and do it. I be like, I ain't gonna. Nope. It's equal. I'm an equal opportunity supporter.
oh, that's a good one.
That's what I am, because sometimes you drain yourself and your resources to help people when a person won't even just give you 2 seconds or
Yeah.
even a mention. I ain't saying you gotta like buy something, tune in. Sometimes we gotta understand the power of networking and word of mouth. That's what I wanted to go to. So let's say like Jay Nathaniel, he might not never post, right? He share my stuff all the time. But if I'm meeting people that need a photographer or talking about photography and I don't mention this person that I know or try to bring traffic there, am I supporting? But then I want you to keep sharing my stuff, clicking, giving me this view, you bringing people to the platform. But I'm not that. I'm trying to figure out where do people think that works. And then when it comes to, like I said, networking, and Tierra, you know, I'll be the first. Oh yeah, so and so. Let me just go ahead and do. I'm gonna send it to the home team first. You know what I'm saying? No, don't go there. I'm gonna do this. If somebody put me in a room, I will call somebody like, guess what? I just gave somebody your information. They might hit you up. I don't care if they never did, but guess what? That person might know somebody else, even if they don't hit you up or choose to go somewhere else. You still gonna be. I remember the girl told me about something. Oh yeah, let me see what she doing. You get what I'm saying? People talk,
Yeah.
and that word of mouth, and then even like we was talking about earlier, like how just talking to people and just putting yourself out there.
Mm-hmm.
People don't understand. I'm now when people talk about shy, y'all know how Bosco be lying, talking about he like introverted and shy. I'm real life like that. Like I just sit there and I'm like observe. And I was like one of them people, I had to be comfortable before I started talking. I just started probably the end of 2022 going into 2023, like literally just holding conversation with people just because. Before I would never have done that. But then it's crazy because you meet different people, and then I can mention the podcast. I can mention I paint. I can mention anything. I can mention, my friends who have businesses. And then I had to think about it. They ain't been doing this for me. I mean, certain ones ago, yeah. But then that's why I was like, oh no, I'm not doing that no more. Like I slacked up on a lot of stuff, and it's not being spiteful. I can't tell nobody how to support me, but I can be an equal opportunity supporter and show this the same love. It's like a when it comes to networking, it's like it go full circle.
Yeah.
We're trying to make things happen, and that's why I tell people I'd rather you to just tell somebody you ain't even gotta you ain't gotta do nothing. You ain't gotta spend $1. You ain't gotta click nothing. All you gotta do is tell somebody, yeah, my homegirl do X, Y, and Z. When people are like, oh yeah, so and so told me, da 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 da, and I'm like, oh yeah, that's what's up. You just never know who people talk to, and you don't know who you're gonna meet. It's okay to be social.
I would say that that's a good way that I got majority of my clients is through word of mouth. You
That's
know,
how we met.
Yeah. People
And I
spread the
think I
word
just
about
asked
your
the
work.
question being nosy, huh?
Yeah, I appreciate the love. People spread the word about your work, and then that's how you get clients. So word of mouth is definitely big.
I think word of mouth is more powerful than like we. I'm trying to think of how to word this without it being like messed up. We give social media too much credit.
Oh yeah, hell yeah. I hate it.
Mm-hmm.
I hate it. It
You
makes us
keep
lazy.
paying attention. What you in the truck?
No, that's me.
I know. Is you in the truck? You sound like you in the whole U-Haul or something.
Oh no. I'm in the car. But yeah, no, I agree with you though. I mean, like social media makes people lazy. It's to the point where, they got AI, all this AI stuff going on where AI can do everything for you. It's like you no longer people are no longer doing anything. Like to the point where, marketing has become all computerized and digitalized. Ain't nobody going to events. Ain't nobody, you know what I'm saying? That's one thing I can say about Justin. Shout out to Justin, that's on the boards. What's up, Justin?
Hey, what's good with y'all?
Now I'm trying to sound sexy with the 1-900 voice. Okay.
This nigga sound like he just woke up from a nap. That's what he sound like.
No, people like I'm listening for my name. Oh, what's up, y'all? This
What's
Justin
I
from
was, what I was saying is that one thing about Justin, he always trying to get me to come out to like events to meet artists and stuff like that. So he's always out there putting himself out there. So that's one of the things that I say, that social media kind of takes away from as far as the business. It makes us, so complacent, so dependent on just making a post and that's it. You know, what happened to
and
the what happened to the street team? What happened to the guerrilla marketing type tech? What happened to that? It kind of like changed everything. So
That's something I really believe in is really just getting out there and putting yourself out. You can't rely on social media. I like face-to-face interaction so you know who you're working with because social media it never give you a false sense of, who a person is and how they operate. But if you are face-to-face with somebody, you can really, learn more about them and how they handle their business. And then you're meeting other people surrounding them. So it's like a word of mouth thing. You hear other people and uh, their history, their interactions, their experiences with that person and the business they do. And you never know, you being around that person, they might introduce you to people you don't know. And then
right,
you can put more people on to everybody and it just becomes like a whole network
then
and
an opportunity is created.
opportunity. That's right.
okay, so let's talk about this. Let me this networking thing. I think we limit networking. Sometimes I believe sometimes people think, oh, I gotta rub elbows with this specific people, or I gotta go to this specific thing to get you know what I mean, to get to network. Some people think, oh, because I'm in the room with these people, I'm the shit, or I'm going to get these connections, right?
Right.
Okay, I see it, I get it. So what is it? Value over quantity, right? So
Yeah.
sometimes I ain't gonna lie to you. You know who start following me? It be people I meet in a grocery store. Like, people I just meet in passing, and I people don't understand the opportunities and just engaging with
Regular
real
regular
people.
people, they
That's when
overlook regular people all the time. And I tell people all the time is that you don't know who, like, you looking at a person by the way they look, you don't know who really got that bag. And it's a lot of people that got that bag that dress down. You never know. They be
Mm-hmm.
talking to you, and you be thinking they not nobody of importance because of how they dress. But I know some guys that do real estate. I know some guys besides Al and Mel that they're getting it. But I know some guys that do real estate that walk around dirty, painting all over their hands. But
Mhm.
they're easily eight figure earners a year.
But I mean, not even it's not even about that. What I guess let me try to think of how to reword it. Like
Y'all,
some people are like, oh, I gotta go to this. Like even though like you write about you don't know who you meet or who you talking to, but some people tend to think, oh, if this person is already in this lane, I'm going. If I come off right, we gonna get this. I can bring this. Some people just talk to you and they really be bullshitting you. A
see,
lot of times people who already are acclimated in certain things in their life or in their lane and they feel like they already done made it, so all they want to do is socialize with these people. Sometimes they don't even hear you. I want to go to the people that's going to engage with me, that's going to hear me and actually really want to legit support me.
see,
Not only that, I've met people who also may be trying to do something and may not know which way to go. I'm a person, I believe in sharing resources and sharing knowledge. Somebody be like, oh yeah, because I was thinking about da 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 da. And I might be like, well, hey, your motivation for creativity, your motivation for your business, your motivation for success can come from anywhere, from a complete total stranger.
But
But I think
no,
we get hung up
you know what, too?
if it's not
Yeah,
beneficial, we can't meet people by going different places. I go to places that I'm not even expecting to talk about, like a podcast, healthcare, school, anything that I'm trying to do in life. And I meet people that can give me certain and point me in a different direction, a way to go to better options, better choices.
I think
It
that's how
could
I
be
got
anywhere.
this. I'm sorry, I cut you.
Mhm.
I
oh,
said,
oh,
yeah, I was
oh,
gonna
yeah.
say, I think that's how I got put in this position to produce for this show was casual conversation and just friendly networking with everyday people from the job I was working because I was ringing Rich up at the 7-Eleven and was just like, we was just chopping it up. And then it was like, hey man, what you do? And
Yeah, that coffee was good that day.
yeah,
Yeah.
y'all were talking about good customer service earlier, and I was like, yeah, I think that's really how I got in this seat to produce for y'all was through you know good
The customer
customer
service.
service.
Yeah,
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 so people really underestimate the value of that. And
yeah,
just what Coco was saying, just talking to regular people in the grocery store, regular people at the corner store, just
yeah,
regular people on the street, man. You just have
yeah.
friendly conversations and you build a small solid foundation, and then you get to know the person and what they do.
Yeah, it be the
Yeah.
people who don't think got it or the environments that you be like, oh, this is not going to be beneficial. Everything don't have to be beneficial for you, but sometimes you can be in the right place at the right time and you could meet the right person at the right time. Or you just never know, somebody could remember you and see you somewhere else and you never know. Oh, baby, I saw you at the da 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 da. And you like, yeah, what you doing in here? It could be anything like that. And that's why I tell people don't sleep or only think, because some people are really selfish. And when I say it got to be beneficial with everything that they do, sometimes we got to get out that mindset and we can hold ourselves back by thinking, oh, if we just put ourselves in this arena because it's going to benefit me. You're actually hindering yourself because you're not thinking outside the box of thinking, hey, if I go to that, I never know who I'm going to see. Or I might just have a nice time and relax so that I can clear my head and really keep my plan in motion of how to be better in business. Because sometimes we need the break. Sometimes we work ourselves to death. We work harder instead of smarter, and we don't enjoy life until it's too late. And we talked about that before. Like even when it comes to like having your own business, some people you ever see some people that's always about yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm trying to chase this. Okay, so when do you live? Because none of us are promised today or tomorrow. So if you don't enjoy at least a day, then what? And then if something happened to you and you work yourself to death, or you get so stressed out and then you end up in the hospital, what's going to happen? Is your business still going to stand? Or because I'm one of them type people, come on, have fun. I got to get this
I
money.
think
I got to do this
I
and the
want to
third.
I want to say one thing about the social media before we get off of it. I just want to say, like, I feel like business, like people going into business for themselves. I think
Mhm.
media, I think media and social media kind of discourages people from getting into business for themselves. Like we talk about, dang, I hear that noise, but we talk about I'm in the grocery store. Sorry, y'all. But we talk about the average, meeting the average person. Like people overlook those people because they so thinking that, oh, I gotta meet somebody that's high up on the ladder to get to where I'm trying to get to. They don't think about the regular average person. They don't even think in their mind about starting a business because they're so infatuated with what they're seeing on the internet, in the media, that they look over that stuff. And all honesty, when you start your own business and then you build with those small business minded people, that can help you build an empire. Actually, if you think about it.
Not only that, you know what I hate? I don't like, okay, so I always tell people I don't be paying attention all the time, but I'm very approachable. Sometimes people want you to follow them and support their stuff on social media, but if they see you in the streets, won't even say hello. That's not even personable. Like the personable piece is taken away from actually interacting. And sometimes I tell people all the time, if I speak to you, that don't mean I'm trying to holler at you or I want you. I'm literally just speaking because if I can like your post, like your picture, comment on social media, why I can't say hello? It's called social media. Like be social. It's not even always like that. You get what I'm saying? Like you also want to speak to people that support you because the worst thing you can do, especially if you have a business, you want people to go to your website and click on your stuff. But if you see them in the streets, you can't even say, "Hey, what's up? I think you know what I mean. Thank you. Hey, good looking. You know what I mean? Anything." Like people just be like, and I'll be like, "Oh, it's not that deep." Because I would click that unfollow and I will yelp your business or leave a bad review on your business. Don't play with me.
Or you had the opposite, where you was friends with somebody and y'all used to come together all the time, and now they got a business. Now you can't even get a how you doing, but you can get a oh, did you go buy this or did you do this? What?
Can you
Wait a
share my
minute.
page? Can you go to my business? You're like, no.
Like, how you doing? I'm fine. How you doing? Like,
Yeah. And it's just like, it just can't be. I think you still got to separate the personal and the business sometimes. Everything just can't be strictly business all the time. To me, that gets annoying. I don't even know what I'm talking about next week.
Oh man.
But any final thoughts from anybody? Tierra, do you have any final thoughts about anything that you want to get to the people before I close?
just be kind, everybody.
Be kind.
Yeah.
Rich, but do you have any final thoughts or words of encouragement?
Next week shows the man panel.
Huh?
Next week shows the man panel.
It is.
The man panel discussion. Yes, yes.
Well, I guess I gotta reach out to some men for next week because I'm not gonna say nothing. It's gonna be all men. I guess the women's panel is gonna be in May. So I gotta see what they say first so I can see how we gonna do this, ladies. Um, so I guess hopefully I have my let's pray for him. Bosco back for this one because he gonna have to do that one. My final thought for tonight would be whatever lane you want to go in, even if it's business or just life, whether it's corporation or for yourself or somebody, make sure it's something that you want to do and not just something that you're doing just because. The worst thing you can do is get trapped into something just because, okay, I make the money, but you're completely unhappy. Be happy with it. Make every decision you make sure you're happy with it and you're okay with it. Um, Before I go again, and of course, like I said, if you go to the Casual Combo Facebook and Instagram page, I'm going to also post these businesses. The first one is Lamont Pleasant, always been a supporter of Casual Convo. Actually, he supported like everything I've done since we met, and we actually met on social media and we met in real life. So he has Imperial Data Services, pretty much like your financial payroll services. You can reach out to him. They also have a website. You can go to that. Just you can put it in your local Google, Imperial Data Services. J Nathaniel Photography. For your photography needs, you can hit him up on J Nathaniel Photography on Instagram as well as Facebook. A Teeth Effect, Lord Jesus. Parties, banging. You're gonna have a ball. June the 3rd, if y'all need tickets for the Color Wars party, you can hit him up. I'm gonna post it. I'll actually post the flyer. It'll be on Instagram and Facebook. Also, you can go to Atif Effect, and I think it's DJ A&R because he's like multi-talented. So yes, he DJ his events, he promote them, market the mess out of them, and he will spam the mess out of your dag on timeline with his marketing. So beware, but you will have a nice time. Also, Jew Creations, hit her up. She does pillows, she does paintings, anything you want unique. She does commission pieces. Just make sure you will pay for her talent and you will pay for everything, but you will not be disappointed. Coming soon. I don't know what she gonna call it, but Tierra is gonna be coming soon with her crafty goods, and I'm gonna push her for that. And of course, always support Ham Radio. You can go to hamradio.org to listen at any time to any show. But of course, we focus on Wednesdays. So you know, but on Wednesdays we got Africa 400. Then you got Bosco from 6 to 8 with his mix, and then you got Casual Convo at 8 o'clock. But of course, you can purchase merch on hamradio.org/shop to get your t-shirts and all of that good stuff. And again, I will post it. We will see you next week for the men's panel. I gotta find some men. So if you guys are interested, hit me up. So thank you guys. See you next week.
Thank you.
Peace.